I love this for the New York Islanders, as one of their top prospects is proving that he is not the one-trick pony that so many critics have claimed him to be. We're going to break it all down on this episode of Islanders Digest with statistical evidence that suggests that Cole Eiserman is not some one-trick pony, and really his scoring is a lot more dynamic. And I know for a lot of Islander fans, this is exactly what you want to hear. This is what I want to hear. I think out of all the Islanders prospects, Cole Eiserman is probably my favorite. Obviously, Matthew Schaefer is the best prospect, but I really want to see Cole Eiserman hit. I think it's been so long since the Islanders have had a proper sniper of a goal scorer, and I think these statistics help support that he is the player that Islander fans have been waiting for a long time. And when you compare him to two other players drafted by the Islanders who were failures after there were hopes that they become this player, you can really see the picture that these players are not the same at all. And there is a reason why Cole Eiserman has so much more hype around him. Really quickly, before we get into that, our goal is 2,000 subscribers. So if you're an Islander fan, you want more Islanders content just like this, and you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Appreciate all of you who have already subscribed to the channel. It really means a lot for us as we continue to make Islanders content every single day. Now let's talk about Cole Eiserman, and this is coming from a tweet from Sam Rob O'Hagan. He did a lot of work putting this together, so I do want to make sure to give the credit. Before we go into some of the numbers on how Cole Eiserman's goals were scored, and this really, while I already didn't believe that Cole Eiserman was this one-trick pony that really a lot of critics are using for Cole Eiserman, for me, a one-trick pony is a player who does one thing really well, and that really makes me think of Oliver Wahlstrom, where that shot from the points on the power play was really good, and when he was wide open with a one-timer on his strong side, he could do a lot of damage. The issue was he couldn't really do anything else, and when other teams knew that that was really his only trick, it was pretty easy to cover him because you could really cheat, making sure that really you give him any other chance because you know he's only dangerous from that one spot, and it made him completely useless almost when it came to 5-on-5 hockey. That is not the case with Cole Eiserman. Taking a look at where his goals and his shots are coming from, it's all over the place. His shot type, he uses a wide variety of shot types. What I particularly enjoy looking at this is there's a lot of in-front net presence. And while it's only making a small percentage of his goals, they are there. And for me, this was the big thing that was missing from a player like Oliver Wahlstrom, where when he got in front of the net, he was unable to do any damage. Cole Eiserman is showing already that he's willing to go into dirty areas in the college level and really get some nasty goals. And what I really appreciate about Eiserman is not just that he has the net front goals. One of them was in the national championship game where he, sorry for stuttering on there, where he just fought for the front of the net and pushed a goal in that realistically should have been a dead play, but he did not give up until he heard a whistle. It's exactly what you want to see from a scorer, and it's what we've lacked from previous scores. Going through more of the shot types, he's had 11 on wrist shots, 7 on one-timers, 3 on backhands, 1 on snapshot. Clearly, there are shots that he prefers. The one-timer is clearly a lethal shot. The wrist shot is clearly very effective. I actually appreciate that more of them are on the wrist shot than just the one-timer, because again, the one-timer is so important, and that's what Islander fans want to see. It's what we need for our power play. However, that's kind of what I think a lot of these experts I would say, are getting this one-trick pony narrative from. They see all the highlights of his beautiful one-timer, and they're like, well, there isn't that much more to this player. But when you really look at the trajectory of his season and where these goals came from, Eisman is a player who can use multiple different types of shot. I find it exciting that he had multiple backhand goals, and also the wrist shot. The wrist shot is the shot that translates the best to 5-on-5 hockey in the NHL, and the fact that's where the majority of his goals came from is very encouraging. And what's even more encouraging, again, when talking about Wahlstrom, and also we're going to talk about Bellows in this video as well, the other issue was there was really only one part of the ice they could score from. Looking at Cole Eisman, again, that is not the case. And if you watch this BU power play and also the way they play 5-on-5, he does not just stand in one spot. He is willing to move because his shot is more dynamic. He is able to score from different positions, which makes him a lot more dangerous than a player like Oliver Wahlstrom. We've we were all excited about Oliver Wahlstrom when we saw the shot in warmups, and then he hit 1 or 2 on the power play, and it became really evident that he was not able to pick up the puck and really move to a different location and score from there. This is something that Cole Eisman does a lot better. Looking at where he scored this season in college, he had 11 from the right circle. So obviously that is his favorite spot, but he also had 6 from the left circle. He had 4 from the slot, and again, 4 in the crease where he's battling for rebounds, really getting those nasty goals that you need to score in the NHL. And this, to me, is what makes him not a one-trick pony. Yes, goal scoring is the biggest element of his game. Goal scoring is also the biggest element in hockey. If you're able to score goals in 6 or 7 different ways, you're not a one-trick pony. Where the one-trick pony thing becomes a concern is if you're only able to score from the slot. Alex Ovechkin has an incredible one-timer. If that was the only way that he could score goals, he would have been out of the league a long time ago. What makes him so dangerous is if you take away that one-timer, that he's a step up, come in and score in a different way. He's dangerous in front of the net. He's dangerous to the side of the net. If you take away his shooting options, he's also able to pass the puck. And that's what I want to see Cole Eisman take another step this season, really develop that playmaking aspect of his game, because the hands are there. I've seen a couple really good jukes, especially in big games. Again, another thing I really appreciate about Cole Eisman this season was he scored in big games. It wasn't just he was beating up on the easier opponents in the schedule. During the Frozen Four tournament is where I think Cole Eisman played his best hockey. And then again, even going to where he's shooting on the net, he doesn't have one spot where he enjoys. In fact, this is perhaps the most exciting part about how he's scoring. He had 6 on the glove side, 6 for blocker, 6 for 5-hole, 4 open goal, meaning the goalie was completely out of net and he just banked it in. Those are likely the one-timers. But when you're looking at that picture, this is a goal scorer who also is not just focused on one spot, which is another issue I think it was with Oliver Wahlstrom, where he was so focused, I believe, on that glove side and just did not work out. I think it just got in his head a lot. Looking at his chart in terms of his prospect projection, this is from Advanced Hockey Stats. He has a 40% chance of being an NHL star and an 81% chance of being a full-time NHLer. This actually has gone slightly down year to year, I think because his pre-draft stock was so ridiculous. He's another player where I don't understand how the Islanders got him 20 overall. Again, there was a lot of people who thought he was a one-trick pony, and I'm going to combat the rest of that at the end of this video, but just focusing on the goal scoring, it's clear that that's a trick that he is able to bring to higher levels. He brought to college as a freshman. I expect him to score even more goals this season. Goal scoring is an important part of hockey. That's something Islander fans desperately understand. And for the record, a 40% chance of being an NHL star from a player you drafted 20 overall is absolutely incredible. Compared to other players, other prospects, he is 14th in this rank. So that's definitely what you want to see. And then in terms of his projected chance of being a full-time NHLer, he's 47th. That actually does fit in with my expectations with Eiserman. I do think out of the Islanders prospects, he is a bit more boom or bust. Not to say that I think he's going to be a bust in any fashion. Just I think his ceiling is higher, but the floor is a bit lower than other guys such as Callum Ritchie, who at the worst case scenario, I think you're getting a J.G. Pageau type center for years to come. Best case scenario, I think you're getting more a first, second line center. Can't wait to see what he turns into. But this is very encouraging from Cole Eisman. And while some of the star potential, stuff like that, has gone down a bit here and there, this has been a very stable prospect, which is really what you want to see with a guy that you considered a steal the year he was drafted. Taking a quick look at the stats, just to remind everyone of what he did this year in college. 25 goals in 39 games played, where he really didn't take a step forward. I think this is why his star potential is going down, is that he just didn't have the assist. And this would be a bit more concerning if the goals weren't there. I do think Cole Eisman does need to develop his all-round game, but a part of this really is the way he was deployed. He really was used as a third-line player who would then obviously get power play time, and if you needed a big goal, Cole Eisman was getting out on the ice. The same really was the case for the World Junior Championships, where he wasn't really playing that much 5-on-5, but of course, every time they had a man-up opportunity, they relied on Cole Eiserman, and he rewarded them, putting up 7 points in limited minutes. Really hope this year in the World Junior Championships he gets to play a filler role, and I think that is going to be the case with Boston University. I think he has earned scoring 25 goals and really working on his defensive play and also trying to become more physical. He's earned more time as the year has gone on, and now I expect him to be more of a full-time player. And really comparing him to the two players we've been talking about this entire video, Cole Eisman did face the same limited opportunity that players like that Oliver Wahlstrom and Kiefer Bellows have faced. And unlike them, he actually proved that in a limited role, he can still be a dominant offensive force. 36 points in 39 games, again, playing primarily on the third line with Islanders fellow prospect Camille Bendark. You compare that to the season of Oliver Wahlstrom in college, where he seriously struggled. You look back at what his production was at college. In 36 games, he put up 8 goals, the same amount of assists, and the whole complaint with Wahlstrom was, oh, he wasn't getting a big enough opportunity. That wasn't a problem with a player like Cole Eiserman, and this really shows me that this is a different type of player. This is a player who can do more. And then I thought we'd also look at Kiefer Bellows, another player the Islanders drafted to be a big goal scorer. In his first year in Boston University, he put up 7 goals and 7 assists for a total of 14 points in 34 games. So clearly, Cole Eiserman is clearly on another level than these players. And again, that is kind of the one thing we talk about when it comes to having these players play in college. Sometimes there is a bit more of a limited opportunity. That's why when your prospect goes to college, there is a risk as opposed to playing in the OHL, because you're going to have to earn those minutes. Your college doesn't really care where you were drafted. Whoever the best player is, whether it's the 19-year-old drafted by the Islanders or some 24-year-old who spent 3 years playing in the USHL before playing at college, doesn't really matter to them. They're going to play the best player. So I think that's even more encouraging when it comes to Cole Eisman. Let me know what you think about this player. Do you think he's going to really break the trend of Islanders failing to draft scoring wingers? I really think there's a lot of potential with him, and what really impressed me about him is his commitment to improve defensively. It's something we've heard him talk about a lot this summer. It's something he worked on throughout the season, trying to get more stickers on his helmet for defensive plays. And while I don't think it's all there yet, the fact that the effort's there really eases any concerns I have about it. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments about the player, about these other two players who are now no longer with the Islanders. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm your host, Patrick Nilan. Catch you on the next episode of Islanders Digest. Let's go, Islanders.